It's time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round while we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 217. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, Heaven's Wardrobe sale and new optional items. Final Fantasy XIV fan kit released. The Feast Season 17 has ended. Join us for duty commenced on December 9th. Big news, all things Patch 5.4. We'll watch the Patch 5.4 trailer and go over the live letter 61. But first, let's shoot the shit. What has been going on this week? Hey, Ruby.
Hey, Yelta. What's up?
Oh, me barely.
It's been a long day, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been a longer 2 weeks, more like 3, since we've recorded. Last week was Happy Thanksgiving to those in North America, United States specifically, or those who celebrated Thanksgiving on that day, wherever you may be. I ate good. My family ate good. Yeah, I'm glad. I was going to ask.
Stayed home.
I hope you ate good.
Ate good.
Yes, we did the same. We did stay home. We have family across the U.S., but they're so far that I'm not willing to drag a 2.5-year-old across country to do it. Plus, I want to stay healthy and keep my family members healthy. So it was just the 3 of us. 4 if you count Flash, my cat. So he didn't get no turkey. He didn't want any. He's kind of moved on from like trying to eat the people's food. He just likes his own stuff. There was a time that he would probably like knock me to the ground over a can of tuna fish, but not any longer. He's moved past it. So, but we all enjoyed a nice dinner. So I hope you, listener, also had a good time last week. So we skipped a week, gave us more time to play, but it just gave me more time to play Animal Crossing because that's what I did. There was events in Animal Crossing, so I was doing that. It's a busy work schedule for me right now. IRL. This time of the year, I think I mentioned like late November, or really all of November is pretty busy for me. And then moving into December, I think my load lightens up starting the tail end of next week. However, I am taking Tuesday off. I had a reprieve on something I was doing Wednesday. So I can take Tuesday off and enjoy patch 5.4, which I'm thoroughly ready for. I have been following the news. I got plenty to say tonight when we go over the news. But, yeah, I did pop on at least once. I checked on my house, and I know the demolition hasn't quite started yet, the auto demolition timer, but I still wanted to just get on and make sure I was in a good spot. I don't know how that stuff works. Like, I don't know. Like, let's say I was not logged in for 30 or 45 days or whatever it may be. And then the next day they turn the timer on. Does the timer start from that moment, or did it start from
I would hope it would start from when it was suspended, right?
Sure.
That it would just be like, okay, today is day number 1 or what. I don't know.
So if I was logged in when they suspended it, then I would be in good shape. But if I had been logged out, for X number of days during that. See, I don't know. It's ambiguous to me. Well,
and I can probably answer this on Tuesday because I checked this last couple of weeks. My husband, Ulf, doesn't play anymore, and he took everything out of his house. And I go in, and I have the permission or whatever, so I see the message. He has 5 days left before the auto demolition starts.
And it will say, so it says that.
It says that right now.
Every time you walk in, it says 5 days, 5 days, 5 days.
I think so. I don't know. I only checked once, but yeah.
Interesting.
And it was while it was suspended. So I'm assuming there's a timer. I'm assuming the timer has been paused, and I have heard it's been buggy. I know people have complained that even after they suspended it, they still lost their house or something, but I don't have any actual proof, but through the grapevine I've heard that. But I do know that I walk into my husband's house, and it says 5 days left.
Okay.
He's going to let it go. That was the point. He's already taken everything out of it, and he's not going to play.
We're not telling you where. Don't even try it.
It's in the Limsa area. And I think he might log back in, subscribe for a month, log back in, and get the stuff from the NPC, because when you lose your house, you do get your items. Well, there won't be any items because you already took them out, but I think you get some gil back. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So it'd be good if you could at least get that. But we'll see. Yeah, I'll check on Tuesday and see if the timer says 4 days or what.
Oh, wow. All right. My body's ready for not only your response, but also for patch 5.4 in general. So, Yelta, I will kick it over to you. Tell us what you've been up to.
I played an alt. This is a different alt now. Still playing with my friend Raven. But we played our Aether alts for a while, and the free company we were in wasn't real chatty, and she knew somebody, a streamer on another data center, so we re-rolled characters over there. So I'm now Femro. We're Femro sisters instead of Kitty Girl sisters.
All right.
Yeah. So, and then I just blitzed through the story and leveled a bunch of characters to get back to where we were. So I'm kind of just waiting for her to catch up now. And that was pretty much all I did. I think I slept through a night when people were going to go to Bosja. Mm-hmm. I think I slept through a mount farming night. I've been sleeping a lot. I hope I'm not dying. But
you sound great.
I have a cold. Sound pretty good for a dead person. No, I haven't been playing a whole lot. I've been playing a lot of like Phasmophobia, and the new one I've been playing a lot of is Dead by Daylight, is it?
Okay.
That's a lot of fun. So, yeah. Oh, and then I've been playing Toontown with my sisters. Toontown Rewritten. It's cute, and it's free. So, and it's really, like, designed for all ages. And I've been playing that with and Halloween is the only day you can make a black cat. So my sisters and I all made black cat characters, and we're going to play them only together. And then my son decided he wants to play too, so I've been playing my monkey character with his monkey character. Because he is the monkey butt. That was his nickname when he was little. We called him Monkey Butt. Well, he just stuffed monkey that some aunt gave him. So his character's a monkey. I'm sure he'll love that I've told you all this story.
Fascinating.
but not a lot of 14. I'm excited for the stuff coming up, but I think I burned myself out playing the Crystal Alt because it's just I played many. I played, what did I say before we get in here? 1 day and 14 hours or something. Yeah.
Right.
So right. I played a lot on her. But I like leveling. I like doing my hunting log, and I like so. That's about all I did. That and, look at live letter stuff and watch we'll talk about that stuff later. But
oh, yes.
All right, you can shoot the shit, too. You can come to the website, www.gtffxiv.com, and let us know what you've been up to. Let's see. I guess the first round is news. Heaven's Wardrobe sale and new optional items. I think this is to benefit, like, the new free version goes up through Heaven's Ward now? I bet this is who this is supposed to cater to, because it's the Heaven's Wardrobe items that started, Tuesday, November 17th. And during the campaign period, it'll be marked down 30%. I haven't seen the end date here. Oh, December 13th.
13th, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. So there's outfits. I don't actually own any of these. They're kind of spiffy looking.
Yeah, I like these outfits. Yeah. I remember at one time when these came out, there was a troop of people that were the Heaven's Ward. They would go around Limsa and they would RP, and it was funny as hell. So I hope that has continued, or maybe it's spiked the interest in it again. And
then new optional items. There are 3 pieces of music. It must be one from each main city. It doesn't show me when I hover over them, so I don't know. What are they?
Yeah, it seems like an oversight. Let me see when I click it. It's just a picture of the music.
Yeah. Oh,
well, I guess it's Limsa,
I Am the Sea,
Gridania,
Whalers and Water Wheels, and A New Hope, the piano collections.
Uh-huh.
I do like that you can click directly to the store and not have to log in anymore.
Yeah.
That used to make me insane. All right, the Final Fantasy XIV fan kit is released. They've added some new stuff. They've reminded us about the license agreement. It looks like it's just the Shadowbringers patch stuff. The patch images, banners, and wallpapers, and stuff like that.
Let me mention something about that license agreement. We talked a little bit about this, I think, on our last episode, maybe prior to, because we started putting our stuff on YouTube. And we haven't got banned or anything yet from YouTube. We hadn't crossed any boundaries yet. What I'm referring to is the DMCA stuff that was going on with Twitch. And my understanding, I could be incorrect, but I saw some sources on this on Twitter, is there are some songs that are in Final Fantasy XIV that you need to be aware of when you stream these, because they are the no-no songs, and those are like Answers, Dragon, was it Dragon Song? And Revolutions, any of those Susan Calloway numbers, and the main theme to Shadowbringers, I believe, also any of the vocal ones that are like that. And there's a couple that fall in the cracks because they're either Answer-Z or something, but they're all listed on that. I'm too lazy here to click on the link that says license agreement, but it's all listed out here which songs you can't do. Now I feel like a dummy, so I'm going to click on it. But yeah, you've got to be aware that if you stream some of those, you might still fall under that crazy DMCA thing and might have to take down whatever you streamed, your VOD, whatever was happening with that. Here we go. Answers, Dragon Song, Revolutions, Contention, Misconception, Beyond Redemption, or Night Bloom. Damn, I was hoping that last one would rhyme with shun. Contention, Misconception, Beyond Redemption, with my symbolic reflection. Never mind.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. Well, and I think technically speaking, we could get a cease and desist letter or get pulled off or something.
Well, anything could happen.
Yeah, anything could happen, but
you're running a risk if you use these songs in a stream or something like that. And that's always been the case.
Yeah.
But now something has happened in Twitch land that these record labels are like enough, and they're going after it, and they're you got to delete your VODs and all that other stuff that was going on. I don't know if that's calmed down over the last month or if it's still a problem, but I saw it over the last week. Somebody said, hey, go check, make sure that that these songs, for the most part, when you're streaming music from 14, you're allowed to stream the music in 14 as you play the game. You're not going to get a DMCA deal, a takedown notice. But potentially you would if you use these songs. So be advised. Be advised.
Yeah, it's always possible. I know a lot of places will like demonetize and stuff if I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. Like YouTubers always are like, I can't say this because I get demonetized. I suppose using music is probably similar. I don't know. All right. The Feast Season 17 has ended. They will give us the results on December 8th on Patch Day. Let's see. And I think we'll probably quickly have a Season 18 announcement too. Don't we usually get those at the same time?
Typically, but they haven't made one yet. Now, we could check before we stop recording. They like to sneak stuff in the 11th hour on us. But, so we may be seeing that, or they may be waiting, for that lull right before the patch drops and posted on Monday or something.
All right, and Join Us for Duty commenced on December 9th. They're going to do, the North American team is going to do a live show. They're going to do Eden's Promise dungeons. And they're going to do the dungeons in Explorer mode and check out some of the other additions. And they're going to do, of course, another showcase segment of community commendations. It'll be Aya, Danielle, and Sam.
Blind run.
One of these, that's what I was. Somewhere I had seen that they were going to do blind runs, and I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. Especially if they don't know anything, you know what I mean? It'd be really cool to see, how they do.
Yeah, that's the fun part, doing it blind.
Well,
this is your only chance.
This is why I like to take Patch Day off. It's the only day you have a chance in hell of not being, and sometimes that still fails if you don't get up early enough. Right. You don't get someone telling you exactly how to handle the last boss of the new dungeon.
Right.
as you zone in. It's like, you know, and then I'm going to just rant a little bit here because that makes me crazy. And I don't know, and that happens in other games too, but in 14, it's like, I will let people, what happens to me on my alts too, and they've got the little sprout, because I leave the sprout on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I will usually let a wipe happen and then ask if they want it explained.
Right.
But it's like, and I know you're not there to waste your time or whatever, but it's like, it's also not the end of the world to take 10 more minutes to do something.
Sure.
It just,
Yeah.
it makes me crazy. And especially like on patch day, people like rage quitting stuff, or, you know, it is frustrating when no one listens when you do, when they do want help and you do finally tell them and they still don't do it and whatever. And it's like,
right.
But,
yeah.
you know, if you don't enjoy playing the game, it's more fun for me to watch people learn than it is just to clue the dungeon.
Oh, I agree with that completely. I think the learning is the fun part. I've always thought that, you know, when you're learning a raid tier, that's the fun part instead of clearing it. Clearing it's good. Learning it's better. Wiping on the same mechanic after, you know, 4 weeks in a row. And you've stopped learning.
Not so much fun, yeah.
And you've stopped learning and people just aren't putting it together. That's a different story. That's different than learning. Getting to the next mechanic is the fun part. And it's fun to see people do stuff for the first time. I think that know-it-all, you know, for some people want to brag and know-it-all and act like they're writing the guide as they go or whatever. But this game does have a bad stereotype of, you know, if you ain't in something for the first few hours, you know, you better go check the guide, because somebody's expecting you to know something and will chide you if you don't. And I find that that's worse in the odd number patches, in my opinion. I guess you could see that in the raid tier stuff, but on the 24-man stuff, I feel like people really get really butthurt if you don't know certain mechanics on a 24-man raid. But I can see that also happening in the Eden stuff, right? Like if you don't know a certain mechanic there.
I get so sad, and my response, like I have alts, right? And in one of the free companies, someone's like, they won't even go into a dungeon without reading a guide. And I'm like, anything outside of Savage, Ultimate, Unreal, and Extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Anything outside of that, I would consider normal content. Just go do it and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. You know, it makes me crazy. And, you know, I wouldn't join. And don't get me wrong, I have rage quit Titan normal parties before, because the people
before, sure.
just will not listen. You give them a few runs, you explain what's going on, and they just don't listen. And I've left. You know, but
right.
You know, I'm not the queen of endless patience either, but it's just like, oh my God.
We've had the conversation before that most offenses have to do with an offense to your level of expectation when you go into a content. So if you go into a Titan, even back in the day, I go into a Titan, soon to be in the day, today, going into a Titan, and
soon it will be Unreal, yes.
Yeah, that's right. And you're going to clear it. You expect to clear because this is a farm party, or this is a clear party, and you get somebody who is learning an early mechanic. That's when somebody's like, fuck this, I'm out, rage quit, because the level of expectation is not met. Somebody's level of expectation is not the same as another person's. Now that's terrible if you're in the same raid group. It's different when you queue in a duty finder and it just you happen to get, you know, with somebody who
doing mentor roulette, you get what you get, and you try. And then I have rage quit a mentor roulette too before, but it's like, it's that mentor roulette's hard because it's like it throws in people who just queued up for something or had no idea. Mm-hmm. You know, it can be very rough. And
I've heard people say they should up the reward for mentor roulette.
Well, mentor roulette, since it can be anything, it's hard. Right? Mm-hmm. It could be Sastasha for the 100th time that week. Or you could get Rathalos Extreme, which also is doable, but, you know, it can be rough. The hard part with mentor roulette is you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes you get something you can do in 20 minutes, and other times, you know, unless, you know, you can just waste an hour of your time and not get anything done. I have like put out if you just want to clear it, our timer's almost up. If you just want to clear it, throw up a party finder and I'll join it, immediately afterwards or whatever. But, it kind of comes back to that. We've preached forever about, throwing people, like you said, different expectations or different skill levels or just differing goals. Just slapping them together sometimes it causes a lot of frustration.
Yep.
So, all right, that's my mini rant is out of the way.
Go watch Duty Commence.
So watch Good Duty Commence. But I'm super excited to see. I mean, they're known, so, they probably won't get raged at.
No. They'll get good people in their party.
They'll get good fast. Yeah, I think I'm home. Well, I'm home I'm home every day pretty much, but I'm off that day too.
But you're working when you're at home.
No, not on the 9th. I have that off.
Oh, well, absolutely not on the 9th. I just meant in general. I'm just covering when your boss listens to the podcast.
Just covering. Oh, it's on their data center, which I probably don't have a character high enough anyway. All right. Let's move on. The big news is, of course, all things patch 5.4, and I think we'll start this off with a viewing of the video.
Let's do that. I think so.
Let's do
I think
the
we should
viewing
do that.
Let me find the trailer.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to change my my playback device so it plays into my headset.
Oh, let me turn the music way down.
It's one of those things, I should have tested before
we started
this. Yeah. But it'll be fine, I'm sure. All
right. It's 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And I always say this every time. They do make a good trailer. But I'm very interested to see where this patch goes. And I have been for the last few expansions, just super interested in what happens.
As am I. And I am queued up and ready to go.
All right. I'm ready to go.
So let's do a countdown. Listener, you're welcome to do it, but we'll play the noise in the background. And I do have notes. I watched this ahead of time. I have some notes. So once we stop, I kind of want to go over what the video's got to offer. But here we go, Yelta. 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, I can't. There's partial nudity. I'm gonna hide my virgin eyes.
Oh, purple. Love the logo.
I did notice the creative business unit now. That's cool. And that purple dragon, Bahamut-looking thing.
At the menagerie, no doubt.
Oh, was it? Yes, it was.
Yeah. Reminds you of another dragon. Shinryu.
Yeah, it did remind me of. We have it.
Pray return to the rising stones.
Apparently. Very angry Aras. Oh, that's Emerald weapon, right?
Emerald.
I don't have any nostalgia for the weapons because I never did them in the other games.
Oh,
Sid and... Wait.
Nero. Allegan? What? Love that. The bubble guy.
The bubble guy is kind of cute. Matoya. I dare say.
Oh.
That's not coming until the next patch.
I know. They mixing it.
Yes. If you haven't done the Castrum, go do it.
Love it.
And they're in multiple places, right?
Love it.
Is there 3 of them?
That was that, and that mask. Oh. Oh, it's not Kingdom Hearts. Sorry.
That looks a little World of Darkness-y, which was my first thought.
Uh-huh.
What? Why would you want such a thing?
Explosions.
It's kind of Shinryu-y as well. Oh. 14 seats. primals.
I have no idea what's going on in almost any of that, but it looks exciting.
It looked great. They did a great job. Yes, Yelta, once again, they meshed 5.45 and 5.41 and 5.4 all together and made a grand showcase out of it, even though probably, like a third of that stuff, at least, we're not going to get maybe even half of that.
Yeah, it's all mixed up and chopped up, and we've talked about that before, but apparently the way they're going with it, it does make for an exciting... But I still don't understand, because if you didn't know what was going on, well, I guess if you were to try to decide if you wanted to play this game or not, you probably wouldn't start with the patch trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's for us. I think it's for those that have been playing, because we know the plot lines, we know... Mm-hmm. Who we're seeing and all that stuff. So I had some stuff that popped out for me on the trailer that I don't know that is going to be addressed when we talk about the live letter. I think it's more like plotline stuff that we'll see as 5.4 unveils. But, of course, we had Fandaniel appearing as a dragon. A lot of people think it looks more like Bahamut. So
it looked like Bahamut's that I'd have to go back and look at my dragons.
When you look at the body.
That's definitely like his pose, and his chest is very...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some major differences, like the color, and there's these weird, like, spirally...
And the head's completely different,
The head's got some wacky stuff going on with, like, a twisted kind of Bahamut. But people are saying, like, the body like Bahamut. My linking to Shinryu is, like, it happens at the menagerie. You can see the menagerie at the beginning. And then the field of battle reminds me of the squares. You know how those squares disappear and reappear and things in the Shinryu fight?
It's very more Shinryu.
Yeah, so very strange. But yeah, I made a note of that they show not only Fandaniel looking like this Bahamut kind of thing, but they show what I thought was his image with two Allegan white mages, and we saw people wearing that high Allegan healer gear. I say white mages because I played white mage when I wore the gear, but the healer gear in the Crystal Tower storyline.
That was the Crystal Tower. They were the clones or whatever they were.
That's right, which is third Allegan era or third Astral era with when the Allegans were around, which is also like with the Bahamut being trapped in Dalamud, which is also Mericidia for the dragons. All right, stay on that train with me. All right, we've got the towers. We saw those crazy towers that were out there.
Yeah,
that reminds me of some of that kind of void archy kind of look. That dark.
Yes,
it reminds me
the purple and black, and
right? It reminds me a lot of a Final Fantasy XI, of like some Wings of the Goddess kind of. The Maws.
People were saying they thought of the Maws, the things the white mages could teleport to. What were those called?
Well, and those are the Promies or the Telly-Dem and Telly. I forget what they actually were called. The Crags, something
Crags.
like that. But it's where the crystals were, and then you go into the Promies when you did the not Wings of the Goddess, but the Chains of Promathia.
Chains of Promathia, yes.
Yeah.
Loved all of that arc, actually.
Right.
Back in the day.
Yeah, incredible stuff. So for Final Fantasy XIV, that look, that void archy kind of look and things that go to the Dark World is usually related to the void, usually related to that stuff. So, I get a serious void archy kind of 13th kind of the void vibe off of those towers.
Well, the first one that's shown in the video is definitely floating by Wanderer's Palace.
That's right.
So, then the second one looks like it's
in Alamigo.
Alamiga, is that what it is? Okay. And then there's I don't know if it's the same one or zoomed in, but it's another deserty area. So there's at least two.
Yeah, at least two. I'd suspect that there were three. Yoshida had told us to brush up on our Heavensward stuff, so I don't know if this stuff does tie into Void Arc or something that we should know things about the Void.
Didn't they just make Void Arc required for something? Did they make that required for MSQ at some point?
I don't know about.
Do you remember? Because remember they made Crystal.
They definitely made Crystal Tower.
Crystal Tower. I thought they made the Void Ark. No, I'd have to go back and
Sure.
read my patch notes.
Sure.
But go on.
Well, I would just, other than that, I would just say that we may see crossovers between, because when they were doing the stuff in the Crystal Tower and they were bringing over the Cloud of Darkness, we're seeing Cloud of Darkness in this trailer.
Yes.
Like, Cloud of
Very
Darkness
much.
is in the stuff. And the Cloud of Darkness, that was being brought over from the Void, right? The Void still ties itself into the Black Mages were trying to tap into the Void in the fifth Umbral era, fifth Astral era, whatever, when all that shit went down in the Flood. And there's a tie. And I'm not...
Does Unakalhai say anything new lately? Have we checked with him?
I don't know. Somebody
Because he was the only one who... Right? He was the one who was brought over from the 13th. Right?
Yeah.
But in a different body or some shit.
People also need to finish their role quests. I'm just going to say that.
There's that too. I
You
have
need
to go
to finish
back
your
and
role quests.
re-watch my cutscenes.
Couple more notes.
Remember.
Couple more notes. I talked about the Bahamut, and then people are talking about the mask being that's Mitron's mask.
Okay.
If you know anything about that, he's one of the two that caused problems, I believe, possibly on the 13th before they moved on to the 1st. I could be completely off about that, but do your research on Mitron, because I think that mask is going to be important. And something about the mask being upside down, I've heard some rumors about. My last take is I'm seeing too much connection to third Astral Era stuff. I know we just came off of Crystal Tower, which is third, but I'm seeing a lot of things that are still kind of related to Bahamut, related to Alligans. There's a scene in there with our homeboy Gratia doing some stuff next to Matoya. So we may not be done with the Alligans, not the Asians, because obviously we're still dealing with some Asian problem. But we might be dealing with a couple of the Asians that we thought were, screwing around somewhere else. I think we're going to still see plot lines that have to do with dragons. We're still going to see plot lines that have to do with Mericidia. Mm-hmm. We are going to see plot lines that have to do with the third Astral Era. That part hasn't gone away. That's my takeaway. And then all the other shit looks cool. And there's a part in the music that sounds like Kingdom Hearts. And everybody thought that there was going to be a Kingdom Hearts crossover the other day because Square Enix had this trolly-ass tweet about Kingdom Hearts.
Is that what that was about? Because I back in the day played like a Kingdom Hearts game, but I don't follow it. So I think I might have missed out some of that. All right, well, it was a kick-ass trailer. Gave us lots to think about. By the way, the entire internet is completely horny about them holding hands, the two girls.
Oh, yeah, let's not forget.
See, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh, power of friendship, and everybody else is like, they're gay. Which is fine, but I'm like, these are supposed to be
I guess it's
young girls, and they're bonding.
I guess it's a reflection of your worldview. I was like, nice art. I didn't think anything about it. I was just like, oh,
I thought it was just cute, and they're friends, and they're they fought for each other and whatever, and yes, we're gonna find out. I think that the whole Eden story is supposed to wrap, right? So we're supposed to know everything about
something
it on
like
Tuesday.
that, unless they send Eden off to the 13th and it's light versus dark or some crap. I don't know what more they'll do with it. I'm sorry for these people who have already wrote 20 novels of fan fiction off of this picture, because one of them is going to die, probably. Miss Big Lips here is going to die.
A lot of people are suspecting she's like the boss of the fourth turn or something.
Come on. I'm going to tell you.
Eventually, we're going to have to fight her, right?
Let me give you another one of Ruby's hot takes, where I give you the absolute incorrect answer for what the boss is going to be for the raid.
I know exactly what this is.
And it's going to be Ultimacia. Yeah, this girl is going to turn into... She is the Renoa that becomes the Ultimacia in this fight. Her love for Reen is going to go south. They're going to break up, and she's going to go sour and do time compression, and she's going to become Ultimacia and try to pull in the void. And Reen
You know
is
how
going to
long
have
ago
to,
Final Fantasy VIII was? I'm not even sure I made it that far.
Reen is going to be her knight and try to stop. Now she'll break the crystal ice of her heart, and then she'll die, and then she'll never have her true love in life, and she'll go to the 13th with us to try to save her in memory of her love. That's it. I just
know she
told you all of
possessed
5.4.
people. That's all I remember. I don't remember. I remember like a cutscene somewhere back long ago.
Yoshida, hire me. I can write all of these
God.
stories for you. Make Western and Japanese audiences very happy with my writing.
All right, let's go over the live letter 61 stuff. We are going to again use our favorite site, Nova Chrysalis, to their write up. Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. I actually initially read all this on the Final Fantasy XIV subreddit, Discord, live translation stuff. So I'm always interested to see what's. I didn't pull that up tonight, but I'm interested to see if I learn anything new on this one. All right, we know it's 5.4. We know it's December 8th. We know it's called Futures Rewritten. Mm-hmm. It's going to be Eden Raid, Sorrow World. Yeah. Okay, they've summarized the major points. Content and features. New main scenario. New level 80 dungeon. Matoya's Recollection. Okay, we know this stuff. Emerald Weapon in Castrum. I can't speak words. But they're going to be a normal Emerald Weapon and an extreme Emerald Weapon. Eden's going to be Eden's Promise. You have to do the MSQ through 5.3, which is something they haven't done recently, is tie it into completion of the MSQ. So
Right.
if you haven't done it yet, you might just want to pop on and wrap that up. And there will, of course, be Savage difficulty. The Savage difficulty is coming out at the same time. They had already planned it that way, even though the community has, and I kind of agree, the community has basically begged them to unlock Savage after normal so that people have a chance to get through the storyline and do the normal mode and everything before feeling like they have to join their raid group in hitting Savage day one. I don't know. 5.45 is the Save the Queen stuff. So we will have the instance duty. I don't know how to say any of
Why
this.
can't they put some easy stuff like, Spooky House or something? Del Burum Regane? I don't know. I don't speak Latin.
I don't know. Let me get my Rosetta Stone Latin out.
Dust off my law degree.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're getting job adjustments. I know Monk specifically was basically rewritten, is what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to see if Monks get some relief, and that they don't still dump it down at the same time, right? Sometimes they overcorrect.
True.
Patch 5.45, Blue Mage is going to get updates, but we'll cover that when it's closer to that time, as far as I'm concerned. Crafters and Gatherers, they're going to rework some of the less frequently used actions. A new crafting condition will be added for certain expert recipes. Collectible and ethereal reduction systems have been revamped. Elevation of gathering points can be discerned on the map, and fish eyes will be adjusted. Fish eyes, it sounds like it's going to be interesting. It's not going to be required to catch fish anymore, and the difficulty of catching certain fish is going to be adjusted. The updated action will instead allow players to ignore the time requirements for catching fish. However, this is only in areas prior to Stormblood.
Okay.
And they're going to make it affect more fish in future updates. It's really kind of an easing of fishing up older stuff, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, some of that stuff is very difficult to catch. It's true end game for many. So yeah, I kind of like the idea of being able to go back some of the older. However, I get it, like to still have those old fish that you worked so hard that you just have to toggle a thing. I don't know, some of those day requirements, like there's one fish, I remember seeing somebody talking about like...
It'd be like 3 days before it's even available
before
for fishing.
Available again,
I'm stuck. The only 2 quests I have in the whole fucking game, one of them's like a Realm Reborn fishing quest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ocean fishing is going to be updated with new routes, objectives. Cool. Solo missions are going to be added, as well as other objectives. I've enjoyed some ocean fishing. I still don't even have the mount. I have the minion. Mm-hmm. It's fun when I go, but I really don't want to... I like to go with other friends and we're chatting. It's kind of like treasure maps. I wouldn't do them in a pug, but I like going with some friends. Mm-hmm. Ishgardian Restoration, they're going to update that in patch 5.41. And it's going to be concluded at that point, and the Skybuilders leaderboard will return.
Cool. And
Sky Steel Tools will be updated in patch 5.45. I think I've only got one Sky Steel. Maybe that's what I need to get back.
I'm ready to do it. Yeah.
I did one craft. I'm trying to remember if I did a gatherer, a crafter one. I did a gatherer one. Anyway, Explorer mode will be added to certain dungeons. I think they were going to start with the older ones, right? Mm-hmm. I can't remember. This doesn't say. The current Unreal Trial, which is Shiva Extreme, is going to be swapped out for the Naval featuring Titan. I'm excited and terrified because Titan was one of those... Now, it might have been just the group I went with at the time, but Titan seemed so much harder. After I did Titan, then we did Shiva. Mm-hmm. Shiva felt really easy compared to it, so we'll just... have to see. But we haven't been doing Unreal lately. I don't know. The rewards trickle in too slow, is my opinion. So, all right. The Shifting Oubliettes of Liga, whatever it is. Treasure maps, they're going to add that. And they showed a screenshot. I think it's the one that's going to be more like a roulette wheel.
Right.
Which is one that we quite enjoyed when we've gone. So, they're going to add... Actually... This blurb makes it sound like not much, but it sounds like it's a lot. A new rule set and tournament mode for Triple Triad will be added. Tournament modes will be added for Triple Triad.
This is cool.
And yeah, it sounds cool. It sounds like they're going to do like a tournaments every 2 hours kind of thing.
Yeah, mini tournaments and anything that gives me more chances to get that Furion card. I will take it.
I just want to know, are they going to update that pack?
No, they're just going to give me more opportunities to get crap from those packs.
To get shitty cards.
Right.
Quick matches will be added to the Gold Saucers Dome and Mahjong minigame. I'm looking forward to this because I want to play Mahjong, but I do not have the time to... I don't have the attention span. Mm-hmm. I don't have the attention span to do a full game of Mahjong, apparently. All right, miscellaneous updates. We already talked about this, though. We're getting Tomestones of Revelation. That's going to be the new capped one. Level sync can now be enabled or disabled separately from undersized party. Some people were saying this will make blue mage spell farming easier, is the idea. New violin instruments are going to be added to the performance feature. Bulk advanced materia melding will be added. They covered this in the video. Yoshipi melded normally a couple of materia and then blew a few more in the bulk advanced materia melding. Apparently he had super good luck though. He's like, my luck on my main character is fucked, is basically was his reaction. The ability to link quests to the chat window will be added. That's nice, because there have been times I've been like, what quest are you on? And people are like, the one with the bird. And I'm like, or the one with the cheese. And I'm like, what?
This to me is one of those ones how is this not an oversight since 2.0? This should have always been there.
I don't know. I'm excited about this next one. When you completed all the role quests in 5.0, there was an additional quest afterwards. A new quest has been added after that. and will require completion of the Warring Triad series from Heavensward. Right? So the Warring Triad, I have to go back and remember, maybe that's the Heavensward content they were telling us we should need to remember.
Also in Oz's Law, also had stuff to do with Mericidia and dragons. I'm telling you, so this shit is going back to the dragons in
I got
some
you.
form.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. I'm interested to see what that is.
But then also that quest is that quest that I don't want to spoil anybody on, but you know where that links to too.
I can't even remember. I did all that shit so fast after the patch went out. It's been a year now or 2 years. When did the fucking patch come out?
Let's just say the Void is involved. So there's just a lot of cross stuff that's going on here, and I think we're going to start to see that it may not be Garlemald that we go to in the next.
No, see, I really think they're gonna either gloss over Garlemald or they're gonna do it.
Crater.
Meanwhile, in Garlemald, they're gonna crater
they
it.
could do that. Yeah, they could blow a hole in it, or they could just keep us meanwhile. Whatever. But I don't know, man. Yeah, Mericidia starts coming up a little bit on my list. We'll see what happens.
All right. I guess Eden's Promise. They previewed the first floor of Eden's Promise. It's the new 8-player, blah, blah, blah. It's against the Cloud of Darkness, but not the one found in the Crystal Tower series. The design is based on the Dissidia Final Fantasy series illustration. Okay. And an arrangement of Don't Be Afraid from Final Fantasy VIII appears here, and there's a story reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like the Savage difficulty version will have a similar progression as previous tiers, but the third floor may be a barrier for groups to surpass. Okay. I kind of like it when the raids go, the first one's not that bad, the second one's a little worse, the third one's pretty hard, and then the fourth one's really hard. Mm-hmm. I actually kind of like that. I've been able to make it through, I haven't been raiding that much in the last year or two maybe, but I did manage to go in and do the first floor. Probably could have done the second floor, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was a nice balance that they finally achieved. I guess it would have been maybe in Stormblood content. I don't know if it was achieved early. It definitely wasn't achieved early on in Heavensward content as hard as Gordius was for many. I think it was Gordius was that first tier, but whatever the first tier was. Now they've made it pretty much, that first one is, really like EX level kind of stuff, because you want to be able to get your accessories, right? If you can get that whole right side, you can get that maxed out. And then if you're good enough for the second one, you can get majority of that left side, got to take at least half of it. And then make that third one.
I can get my accessories in my belt, and then I can maybe knock out some other stuff.
Sure.
And then,
and make that third one the barrier. I tell you what, it felt really good when back. It's funny, I was looking at some of the emotes that we'll be getting here soon, and I saw the paintbrush from the realm fight where you're fighting the paintings, and I was like, that was a nice one. The Phantom Train, and then the follow up with the paintings. I don't remember getting too far in that tier. I think I
pugged Phantom Train, and I know Beldandy dragged me into the paintbrush one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did those two quite a bit. I don't think I did much of the third one or on, but that was nice because I felt like, hey, I got quite a bit of gear. It wasn't everything, but I got quite a bit of gear out of all of this.
Right?
I got something out of this, and I was at least pugging some nice Savage content. So I guess that's a nice happy medium. I'm glad they have found that, and it has been working out for them, and that it will continue to be that sort of pace.
It's nice if the content has a obvious difficulty curve, right? Mm-hmm. If you can do because all of us are not in the same place, right? I'm apparently not a Savage Raider anymore, but it does feel good to at least be able to do some of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even though I maybe mostly easily do EX fights, maybe not easily, but I can fight my way through EX fights, but I can also fight my way through the first floor or two of Savage. Right. It feels good getting that gear, being able to get, something.
It's nice to know the expectation of the type, at least the difficulty expectation of the fight that you're going to go into.
All right, Blue Mage is getting spells and gear. I can't remember. The picture isn't loading for me.
It's not for me either, but it was a top hat. They had kind of a
there
cane.
was a cool cane.
Yeah, it looked nice.
Monk's getting job adjustments. They talked a bit about it, but I don't know enough about it to talk intelligently about it.
I can't talk intelligently about it at all, but most of it has to do around grease lightning.
Keeping grease lightning up,
Yeah, it's about keeping grease lightning up.
Which is rough.
So it's a trait instead of a status effect. So you know more of that, I guess, keeping something up. It no longer increases damage dealt. As a result, action potency's effects have been adjusted. So we'll see more. I'm sure you can go to like a Monk Reddit or something, a thread on the Reddit and figure it out, or go to the forums and they've all broke it down for you. And there's been some questions about like, well, what is this thing going to do? There was a button that I don't know. I think it was Anataman. What is that going to do now?
Yeah.
So we'll find out in a few days what they did with it. And I'm sure it may not be to everybody's liking and they're going to have to tweak it. And then what's going to end up happening is if it's really not to everybody's liking, you're going to have to wait until 6.0 because this is the last stop.
This is probably it for the adjustments, yeah.
This is the last stop.
Till the major patch, yeah.
And,
in fact, I'm surprised they're doing as what sounds like a major change to Monk at this point. But that's good.
And maybe, I don't know. To me, the major thing for 6.0 is healers. We've got to get
Oh my god,
the
if we do not get
back.
healers, I don't know what I'll do.
So, sorry, Monks. I don't care what they do to Monk. They got to get Monk fixed in the way that needs to be fixed, whatever. Thankfully, it's something that has to do with existing actions and changing traits within existing things. For healers, I don't know if they felt like they have achieved the balance yet to bring that fourth healer to the forefront. I don't know if they're going to have to make other healing changes. I'm not going to go into all that right now, but
honestly,
that's the one
at this
that 6.0
point, I would be happy for a reskinned anything for a healer at this point. I'm sorry. It's just I want to level another healer.
It was noted that I think we may see this when we go to the special site, but it was something that's talked about new jobs. It was the image for new jobs, and it was a picture of the Necromancer from the most recent dungeon. Kind of one of them troll things, like, we know you want Necromancer as your new job.
See, but I've always heard we can't have it because it's undead, and we can't have that in some countries. I don't know.
Well, and I've also heard what does this game care about lore anymore? But like for lore reasons, you can't have a devil healer or whatever. Oh, so what are you going to do when we go to the 13th and we have it's all dark stuff? You're going to have a dark healer. So maybe that's Necromancer. Maybe that's your 13th shard healer is a Necromancer.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. They could do a lot. There's a lot of stuff they could do.
Maybe Yoshida's
I know a lot
just
of
giving
people.
Up, and he just is like, just tell me what job you want next, and we'll just put it in. We'll just make it.
Well, and I'm one of those people who Geomancer was so talked about in the Astrologian quests. I didn't really think they could ever go with Geomancer, but I'd take it. Yeah. I'd take Chemist, right?
Sure.
I mean, there's options. I still really think they missed the boat. I think they could have made Dancer a healer. Mm-hmm. But that ship has sailed.
Couldn't balance it. That was the problem.
Oh, my goodness. All right. We have triple triad changes.
Heyo.
It's very interesting. So I like the first one. You're going to be more easy. I can't words good. You'll be able to tell which cards you don't have and where to get them faster and easier, right? One of the things that bothered me from the beginning was the fact that your list of cards did not have blank spots or something where the card you needed would go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real shitty when you go to
that.
Websites that you're trying to match up what cards you don't have to their list because you can't tell which cards you don't have. And then you go to them and they use the pattern from the game, but it's when it completely fleshed out and it still is like, I don't know, like a needle in a haystack trying to figure out which cards you have.
It's very hard to figure out. It sounds like it's going to be, it's going to show the card slot and give you a hint where to get it. So I think that's great. I might get back into my hunting down cards because I can't remember who I have played and who I haven't.
Right.
And I don't really want to spend a couple hours on a third-party site trying to figure that shit out.
And that's what I've had to do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I've tried, but I've been like, I just don't want to. They've adjusted the deck restrictions, but I think this does not really answer the problem we've been complaining about.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what they really have done, as far as I've been able to read, was, you know, as you obtained more cards, you unlocked basically like a new rank of what cards you can have in your deck, but you still end up in the same place before and after this adjustment. Is that how you read it?
Well, I still don't understand it based on what the information is presented here, because when I see 1 to 3 stars have no restriction, 1 4-star or higher card is permitted. Well, that doesn't matter to me if there's a level 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's still the rule that it is today. You can have I can have a bunch of 3-star cards.
They just made it so you can unlock that earlier. It used to be you could only have you had stricter restrictions if you only had 20 cards or 30 cards or 40 cards or 50 cards.
They opened it up earlier.
They opened up that, but that's not what people, you and me, who have tons of cards are complaining about.
Yeah, I wanted a new rule. Is basically it, like a different tournament style that was like you could have 2.
Will allow you to have a 4 and a 5.
A 4 and a 5 or something, or like some kind of rule that allowed you to have a 4 and a 5 or something. But you know, maybe that would have caused some balancing issues. But it's triple triad, so who cares? I don't like me.
Well, and they could make it a rule that's only effective during certain NPCs or something.
Yeah.
Or fighting someone the same cards unlocked as you. I don't know. This did not answer, in my opinion, this did not answer the stuff that we've been bitching about as people who have more than 30 cards. Right. They did add a new advanced rule, which alters the way Triple Triad is played. It's called Draft. It will restrict access to their individual decks and must play instead using randomly provided cards.
Okay.
That sounds like it'd be kind of fun and cool if you were new, maybe.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Right. If you've already built your 5 decks, I don't know if I want this.
Right. It's almost like they ran out of rules to do, so they had to make it a little harder by giving you lower level cards.
He even said these changes are to introduce. They want to get more people who never played Triple Triad into play.
Huh.
So a lot of these changes are really to help people who never played before, not for you or me who, well, you've been way more into Triple Triad than me, but even me, it's like this is
okay. I can see Draft helping that. You know what Yoshida's talking about. If I had a brand new person and me and a brand new person, 2 living, breathing people were playing each other, but a lot of people are playing NPCs. I don't know how Draft helps you when you're playing NPCs unless that NPC.
I'm not entirely sure it's even available for NPCs.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah. This next part is open tournaments are going to be added. That's the every 2 hours thing. Mm-hmm. With rewards. That's you versus playing other people, I think. Players are matched in groups of 8, earning as many points as possible within 3 matches, and if you don't have enough people playing, they will give NPC spots. But, you know, that's maybe that rule only works. I don't know. We don't know yet. But I don't really see either of these changes helping me.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. I guess I can see if Draft is in the open tournaments and every 2 hours I queue up, I'm given a random set of cards and everybody's on the same level, then, you know, maybe same playing field, and as long as I get the chance to win a Furion card, I may have an opportunity. I kind of like having my odds because I've been playing for a long time, so I have a lot of good cards, and I know what my deck is. So, you know, that's another thing, but maybe Draft isn't the only way to play. And then we got invitational tournaments? What is this
Invitational,
one?
So you can freely form them between players. It sounds like there's no rewards from the game, it sounds like, but you can like participate via the Duty Finder, and you earn as many points as possible with 3 matches. and it'll sub in NPC participants. And the person who starts the party can basically have 4 advanced rules.
Okay.
So that could be fun.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. That's like people who play 14 are used to. Some of us are used to. Not me personally, but some of them are used to creating their own content or their own events or whatever. This makes the game let you throw your own tournament.
It's cool. Yeah. I love that.
But what are the benefits? The benefit will have to be the prizes will have to be like picked by.
Yeah, that's a Run Your FC
sponsored
event.
by,
that's
which
a
is okay.
sponsorship kind of thing, which is cool. Yeah, that's got lots of play. People like that kind of stuff. People don't like when you put something like this in a game and that's gone. This to me feels like one of those sandboxy kind of things that you could use for your own content, which
make your own fun kind of thing.
Fun. And the way open tournaments and invitational tournaments sound to me is like they figured out how queuing works for Triple Triad beyond just queuing into that one room and talking to a few NPCs and randomly meeting up with people in there to play. So. Kudos.
Yeah, I think those will be cool and fun to do. I think.
Yeah, I will be doing that.
Yeah, probably will too. And I can see us throwing a free company tournament occasionally if there's like any interest, right?
Yes. Yes.
I could, and we have enough stuff to sponsor gifts or prizes. What have I done? Okay. Let's move on. Unreal Trials. We talked about this a little bit earlier. It's Titan now. It's scaled up for level 80 in current gear.
The landslides.
The landslide. Stand under his loincloth.
Yep.
If you're not sniffing his loincloth, you're doing it wrong.
That's right.
Honestly, this fight is part of the reason I left my last free company.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You stayed on the ground a lot.
I got told to just die and stay dead to see if they could carry people and make them pay. At least I'm not bitter. But no, I look forward to this because Shiva, like we said earlier, when it came out, was one of the easier extreme trials. So I'm really interested to see it, but it seemed harder. I don't remember the heal. Well, I probably didn't heal. I probably was Black Mage back then.
Yeah.
So I don't think I did Shiva.
Shiva was easier than Titan. Yeah, Shiva was easier.
But Shiva was easier. No, Shiva was easier than Titan, no question. My thoughts was Shiva Unreal a little harder than it was when it came out as Extreme? But I had a little trouble healing it because I suck. But I'm trying to compare it to when I did Shiva Extreme when it came out. But I'm like, I don't think I was healing.
It's hard to compare too, though. You didn't have as many tricks. The tricks were different. You know, it was
the
all
tricks were different.
It was all Medica 2s and. Trying to keep people through the snowstorms.
But Titan EX, once I learned it, it wasn't that bad. Right? You know, you counted the 3 things and you healed and you stayed under the loincloth and
don't break the people out if they had the line on and that kind of shit.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that the free company will want to do Unreal again, and I'm hoping that the prizes they throw out aren't so far beyond reach and available on the fucking market board if you happen to get Wondrous Tales.
You know what would be interesting is seeing that last phase of Titan when you actually have to play it out. When
we have the 2 ads.
When the 2 ads come out, you got to tank the 2 ads.
And the bombs are doing their pattern.
While you got to get out of the puddles.
And there's a landslide.
And there's landslides, and he's doing big tank busters. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I did that shit back in the day when it came out, and it was terrifying. And my ping sucks.
That's right.
So on top of it all, I died a lot, not even through my own.
That net code. Remember they had to upgrade.
Do you remember? I remember when they. Well, I was telling the story a while ago. Okay, we've been recording for an hour, but I'm going to tell the story. So back when A Realm Reborn launched, and my entire free company got to Titan storyline mode, I couldn't fucking clear it to catch up to them, and they wouldn't come back and run it with me. And the problem really was my internet sucked. Right? So I couldn't get out of landslides even if they knew where they were. It was just awful. I had like some drunk 4 a.m. tweet where I'm like, nobody loves me, they won't help me run this thing. Then they tightened up the netcode, and also I learned rebooting my router, I could actually play decently in there for an hour and a half.
There you go.
There you go. So I'm going to reboot my router. The name of the episode is Reboot Your Router.
Okay. Writing that down.
But yeah, no, that was really one of the hard parts of that fight was just, well, and people give you so much advice. They're like, get out and then cast an instant spell so it would register your new location or whatever, and I don't know if that helped. All right, but we're also getting Castrum Marnium something.
Marinum?
Marinium. I think there's water involved.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's Emerald Weapon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I still don't have Ruby Weapons mount. I still don't have...
You'll be able to buy it before terribly long, I guess.
Yeah, because I have 2 stacks of the thing, so I will. But I've never had to buy one before. I'm very sad. But anyway, yeah.
Cool.
That's going to be in the game.
Yeah, I love it.
That's all this section says.
That's all it's got. I guess that's all it needs to have. Yeah, I mean, there's a video, of course, of Yoshida, hacking the code and staying in the fight. I think what I had saw was I saw some patterns of how it was. It reminded me of a few fights. There's the ring attack that goes outward, where you have to kind of like stepping out like meteors, where you got a ring that kind of slowly goes outward. But then it also had
I might have to drop something.
Right, but there also was a pie that was going counterclockwise or clockwise around. So you were having to either go, out or in while
there's
spinning.
like laser beams, and there's like the walls on fire, and
and it's nice that it's a real fight again, and not what they did to Sapphire, just making it always to Regula Van Hydras. They gotta make him some kind of weak fight as compared to.
I don't know. I did not like that. I know there's a lot of people in the Free Company who were like, "That was awesome," and I'm like, No, I didn't care for it. Well, it only took me 1 death, and I cleared it, so it wasn't even that I was like bad at it. It was just not exciting for me. The following cutscene was disturbing enough to make up for it, so...
Absolutely. So I don't know if we'll get any milk-drinking, shirtless
Was it
dudes.
milk or orange juice? Was it milk?
I felt like
it
was milk.
I can't remember.
I was very disturbed, and milk disturbs me more than orange juice.
I was disturbed. Yeah.
Well,
I know. I'm looking forward to another... I like EX fights. They're about my skill level. It usually causes me enough pain to feel like clearing it feels like a good victory. So, all right, the shifting oubliettes of treasure maps.
Sure.
We're getting the roulette again. I'm looking forward to it. There's luck involved. It looks like it's very similar with the Atmos things popping up. I have a lot of maps still, so I'm actually, over the weekend, I probably will gather a couple more just to make sure, and I hope to do a map party or 2 and get lots of goodies.
That's cool. This one is one of my favorites of the map type. I haven't run maps in quite some time, but that's my favorite. Now, it's random which one you go into. You could get the regular going in and going down floor by floor, or the roulette wheel. So I like either, but the roulette wheel is just fun as hell.
All right, we also have some gathering changes. I'm actually excited. They're changing. The picture's not here, but the UI is changing for collectibles.
Yes.
Right? I think that would be fun. And collectibles were always underwhelming to me, I guess. So we'll see what happens.
Is it more like a game? Did they change it to like a game?
It looks like it may more. I hope it is.
Yeah.
To me, it looks a little bit more like a game, right? Something that will be more interesting, fun.
Well, and it should be. It started off as just some derivative. It's a toggle. You hit a thing, whatever. But it has evolved into its own mini game, except that the mini game was just you always hit the same thing unless you got the proc, and then you hit the different thing, and then you try to farm for the proc, and you get 3 swings at it or whatever, 3 or 4 swings at it.
Yeah,
it became just it wasn't a game; it was a flow chart. So I hope it's more of a game than a flow chart, or what they've done to some other aspect like crafting. Where crafting is actually. You can still macro
hit
craft.
the right button.
Yeah, you can still macro craft if you want to get through. I leveled macro crafting, but if you want to do other things, and this is what I really loved about crafting when I was leveling it up. I had to take some risks in my crafting because I could not get to the CP level I wanted to, even with food and medicine and with the company buff. I couldn't get to the CP level that I really wanted to get to while maintaining the other 2 stats to make the craft, and do the do the rotations that I was reading online. I had to take some risks, and I had to do some things that used, that 500%, but you got a 50% chance. I can't remember what it's called. And, to make that work, and I made a full set of gear doing that, high-quality gear doing that. And that's what I love about crafting. It's not so rote. It's not so black and white that if you don't have it this way, you can't do it. You can do it. It may take more risk. You may break some things or whatever. But with the practice mode, with all the things that they've added to crafting, it's fucking fun to try to get that. I sunk a good solid 2 weeks, like really, like I wasn't doing battle content. Yelta, I was just on crafting.
Yeah, you were very proud of you. See, I never made that outfit. But even leveling crafting, I didn't use any macros pretty much since 5.0 dropped.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. And that was really
I manually did it, and I like to actually hit the procs.
Yeah.
And maybe it was boring to some people, but to me it was like sitting there and hitting a macro was not exciting.
Yeah.
Or I would do a macro for the first couple steps maybe, and then once you hit somewhere you have to finish it up. But gathering collectibles was always go to Garland Tools, not DB. What was it? What's the gathering one? Doesn't matter. Yeah. But basically there's 2 rotations. So it's do this rotation. It's an if then else kind of, graph, depending on what you're doing, and then collect your items. And it didn't matter. Your gear mattered to a point. And I want gear to matter. I don't want gear not to matter. But I want, again, it comes back to, I want it to matter what button I push in what circumstance, right? So I'm not an action-y girl, so I don't want it to be what button can I push fast enough or what macro can I hit. I would really rather a slower, more methodical,
more chess and checkers.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's just not. Gathering collectibles never really felt that good to me. It felt good when you hit the point where you bought the book and had the gear and could do them, but after that. I did enjoy the fact they changed it so, which is funny. It bothered me that I could accidentally craft and gather something as a collectible and forget to hit the button. And so I gathered or crafted the normal
what a
thing.
ridiculous thing
that was that. And what's really funny is really my MO is well, you should be paying attention then. But I'm but it's so stupid.
Isn't it funny how we've gone that gradient? If you would have asked us 15 years ago or whatever, we'd have been well, yeah, I deserved that death. And
maybe you should pay attention.
And lost that XP. I should have, used that buff or whatever. We're all flogging ourselves for our, and accepting the penalty. I guess that's the Stockholm syndrome, oh, I deserved it. Okay.
I don't know, but I am looking forward. I'm hoping that this change is going to be different. They're changing the collectible, and they're changing. It's possible if you've queued up or if you've got an inventory full of collectibles gathered prior to this patch, you might just want to turn them in now. They've warned us that some of those are not going to be accepted, which is normal. I don't know. I don't even gather collectibles for another week or another time period. I just don't do that. Inventory space is too precious. But they've changed where, so and actions to increase collectability has been revamped. You have to increase collectability while being mindful of remaining integrity of the node, which sounds like where to me, so I don't know. Adjustments have been made to ensure higher gathering and perception attributes allow for more efficient gathering of collectibles. Sounds like I need to upgrade my gear. Is that what that sounds like to you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, which is fine with me. I do feel like if you invest, you should get the rewards. So, regarding ethereal reduction changes, the location and number of ethereal gathering points in each area has been adjusted. Value no longer is based on purity. It's now going to yield a greater variety of items based on collectability. Sounds like a little bit of a streamlining, which is fine. The number of items yielded by the ethereal reduction has been adjusted, so whatever that means. Ocean fishing, new routes, new objectives, solo missions, other adjustments. Okay. Ishgard restoration. This is the fourth and final phase. This is it. You can have a seasonal score. I still haven't got the amount or the minions or whatever for a score, so I might have to just no life that week. I have that whole week off.
Yeah.
Oh, 5.41. I probably don't have that week off. Fuck you guys.
It's probably in January. So.
Oh, yeah. So, they're doing again where you're going to get the same title, but it will be a different achievement, and it will be the final ranking. They're going to do a monument construction. The scores of all the crafters are going to be tallied, and a monument to honor the crafting class with the highest combined score. The monument to crafters will be placed in the firmament. It will depict the winning class's tool. Each world might have a different monument, and it's purely aesthetic. When initially the first message that went out about this, we really thought they were going to erect a monument to the crafter's player character. Did you feel like that?
I don't know that I ever read into it that deep into it. Yeah.
The first time I read this, they're like, and the crafter that does the most blah 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 will be immortalized and blah blah blah.
No, nobody would.
But no, you're basically if you're a botanist, the monument's gonna be your pickaxe, or not your. That's botany. I'm drunk, guys, at this point. Okay. Explorer mode. This is basically dungeons with no bosses, and take all the screenshots you want. This doesn't interest me at all, but I know some people are very, very excited about this.
I mean, cool that you can use mounts and do all the other stuff in it, and they show on, or at least this little clip, they've got some of the things like the umbrella and stuff on their hot bar, so they can do some of the cutesy stuff with it. And like you, Yelta, unless
you
it was
can do
RPing, I don't really care.
And you can put on a dummy and hit it, and you can even cast your different limit breaks. What are they called in this game?
Oh, the limit breaks?
Is it limit breaks?
Yeah, they're called limit breaks.
I get confused. I'm like, what game am I talking about?
I mean, all of that is fucking cool for a screenshot. I love it. It's just I wouldn't probably spend more than like 10 minutes fucking around in this, and then
I can see myself spending 15 minutes fucking
like
around
if I
in
wanted
the
to make
dungeon
some
with every company
thumbnails for a
members.
video or something like that, like hell yeah, I'll do this. Or if we want to do, well, I guess you can't even go in with people, so it's not like you can have a party in one of these dungeons or something with all your buddies.
Well, I think you could take in the normal dungeon amount
Just
of people.
up to 4 people.
Right, so
You can take up to 3 other players
go.
with you. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can't. Your whole FC can't dance in the ballroom and.
They did show off the snowman mount and the choco poker, which is just a chocolate mount. All right, God Save the Queen. That's 5.45. That's the new large-scale duty called we said we can't say this. The normal mode's going to include 24 people and have no role requirements. Savage will be 48 players, and you must form parties before going in. And that's interesting to me. I want to see I still have to go back to Baldaccine's Arsenal. I still haven't done it.
Oh, I still have
But
to
anyway.
do that one. Yeah.
I need that mount. But anyway, you can't change jobs when you're in there. You're going to get a lost cash at the entrance. Lost actions and gear with effects are limited to boss. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting stuff here. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. I did hear some people
the
complaining about having to have the other Bosja finished before you go into this one, and I was
Why?
like,
It's
what
a progression
the fuck?
thing.
It's progression. They were like, nobody's going to be running the castrum once this comes out. No, everybody will be trying to run the cast. They're not...
Anybody else who hasn't done it and or their entire Discord's devoted to getting clears for people.
Also, they're designing...
There's a lot of people who...
They're designing this content in such a way that, you know, they know that they're going to release new stuff, so they're not going to gate the old stuff and keep people from doing it. There will be some dumbing down, some easing of, plus whatever else, incentivizing going in there, you know. So don't worry. It'll be fine. And
in 5.5, we're going to get another zone. And then resistant weapons can be upgraded after completing all 5.45 quests. There are 2 additional steps in the upgrade process. During the second step, players can freely customize the secondary attributes, which will be a longer step than previous ones. Well, thank God, because do you know how many fully upgraded relics I have at this point? It's just for fucking around in there. It's not... I feel like the relic used to sometimes go kind of easy ungrinding step to like pretty grindy step, then back to easy. Yeah. But with nothing about these relics has been grindy yet, or lasting even.
Yeah, we haven't hit the you know, we were used to a easy hard kind of pattern or something, or like stupid books, tedious, and then something with some dungeons and it's easy but it's dumb, and then, you know, like this doesn't have this has been like just easy, you know, very little tedium, or like there's a more tedious step but you don't have to do it. Okay, I'll do the easy one then.
All right, they did a section on new furnishing and emotes. I don't even remember what it was. There's like eating apples and eating rice balls or something.
Oh, yeah. I think this is where they showed the painting and sweeping, and just it's a bunch of stuff that NPCs already can do and we can't do. Or you can do it in certain fights, but you can't do it outside of fights.
How many of them are going to be cash shop? That's what I want to know. Oh, fuck. Don't give me any more ideas. But, yeah. I like new emotes, though. I'm not going to be angry about that. I like new furnishings, even though my house is garbage. They also showed off bulk advanced materia melding, but I already talked about it. He manually queued up a few melds, and then he used the new bulk advanced materia melding, and it still melded up really fast, and Yoshi P decided he's used up all his luck for the whole week. All right. Let's see. A live patch notes reading will air on December 7th. An announcement showcase broadcast will be held on Friday, February 5th, 2021. It's really going to reveal the next game's expansion. This is instead of fan festivals. Right. So, you know, Friday, February 5th is going to be a big deal. I should probably take off whatever time makes sense. They're going to do the 7th 14-hour broadcast on the same day. Ooh. Final Fantasy XIV will collaborate with Pusheen. I love Pusheen. I only know them because of my line stickers. And my line stickers.
Plushes here in the house.
Yeah. So they're going to do animated stickers coming to the App Store in early December. Cool. Final Fantasy XIV is on sale for Black Friday. That's over. And Lawson will have a limited edition Final Fantasy XIV Manchoco treats on sale December 15th. They're going to also have stickers included. They showed some of those on the stream. Part of me wants those stickers just for no reason. And you can redeem them for the in-game Chocopoker mount. They're going to, they mentioned on the translations I read, they're going to find some way to make this available
in your Mrs.
in
Freshly's
some format. Mrs. Fresh. or an Amazon
and a magazine subscription in the
thing.
EU.
Yeah.
That one
I
went
don't
over
know.
swimmingly, as I remember.
No, that was awful. that was yeah. So there's going to be some event somewhere near you that will let you get a Choco Parker mount, but I still want these stickers. Some people were like, I'm going to ask my friend in Japan to send me the codes or whatever, but the last time I heard this, don't quote me. The last time I heard someone do that shit, it didn't work because you had an America account or something.
Yeah.
Is that I don't know.
Well.
I just do not send someone $1,000 to buy you, Lawson noodles or whatever.
Yeah, send me a box of chicken tenders from Japan so I can. I heard they're good. I heard that Lawson chicken.
No,
is very good.
I've heard they're actually good. Yeah. Okay, some truck outside my house was really loud and it disturbed me.
Oh,
Okay.
it wasn't chicken delivery though, huh?
No,
Damn it.
no, it. Outside my window is a fucking major highway in Minnesota, so it sometimes scares me. All right, Final Fantasy XIV Mahjong Tournament 2020 is going to be This is real life. This is a real life tournament. Will be broadcast on December the 29th via Nico Nico. Yoshida and other guests will be playing real life Mahjong. I think it's awesome. I want to see it.
I want to see it look like the World Tournament poker matches. I want to see Yoshida with his Mahjong tiles, and I want to see him with the big sunglasses on, looking kind of like gruff. I want to see a bunch of guys sitting around a table talking shit in Japanese to each other and slamming tiles down on the
It's
table.
a noisy game. Have you ever played Mahjong in real life?
No.
It's noisy.
Is it really noisy?
noisy.
I hope they're cussing
Clack,
too, though.
clicky,
I hope
clacky.
they're talking shit. I hope they have like one of them's wearing like one of them clear visors, like they're in the fucking Vegas casino. And I want to see some shit go down.
Did I ever tell you I actually bought the Final Fantasy XIV Mahjong tiles?
Did you really? It's a cute
Yep.
set.
It's cute. It's really cute. I don't play Mahjong enough to like. The case is awesome. The tiles are adorable.
Wow.
They're not as. I have an American. Well, I just threw away my American set because it sat in a corner and some cat peed on it.
Not good.
So don't let your cat pee on your tiles. So I threw that one away. But that version of Mahjong never did anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
That whole like buy a book every year and the tiles are thin and boring. But I have like some really thick and cool looking Mahjong tiles, and I've played with my sisters and my mom and my brother-in-law a few times. But the Final Fantasy XIV tiles were not quite as big as those, but definitely quality tiles. They stood up on their own, and I don't know. I haven't played them yet.
Right.
Maybe I'll take them to my sister's house this weekend. My brother-in-law loves Mahjong. We play with like super simplified rules because we're dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we play with super simplified rules because we don't play enough to learn the rules, right? So you just play an abbreviated version.
Well,
but I
yeah,
like
fine,
it.
right.
Mahjong's fun. I like tactile games. I love board games. I love anything you can play on the kitchen table. But I love anything that's colorful and hands-on, and there's strategy and there's luck. So it's a great game.
It's a pretty set, and I think the only way I would own it, because I don't play Mahjong or really have any desire to, in game or out of game. But it's so beautiful that if I had like one of those glass cases that was tiered, and I had something like some of the figurines from 14, plus I had some other 14 things, because I've got some nice stuff that I've gotten from the fan festivals. Also some nice things I've gotten from people who make their own things. Like I've gotten some bottles. Somebody made me Kaz, I think somebody brought me a bottle. And then I've gotten some other boxes and little wooden objects and other things. And so, like, if I had a case, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll make a case, and then I'll buy a Mahjong set, and I'll put it in there, because that's what I would do with it. Put it in a nice, pretty glass case and look at it and go, oh, how pretty.
My worry about the Final Fantasy XIV Mahjong set is my family won't want to play it because they don't know They barely know how to identify the other set I have visually. They're not going to want to look at, I don't know.
Yoshida, can you make some dominoes? Can you make some Chocobo dominoes? And I will. I would play Chocobo domino.
I've never played dominoes. I don't even know how to play dominoes. It sounds simple and fun, but
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Can you count by 5?
Yeah.
There you go. You can do it.
I can't divide, but I can count by 5.
It's fine. If you can do math, simple addition.
I can do basic math. Count by 5s. All right, quickly. We've got 3 developers' blogs. We're going to go through them quickly. If you are interested, do go to the nafinalfantasy14.com/blog. Here, Feel, Click is the first one, and this is basically talking about, they talked a bit about the revamp of the Party Finder and objectives for Unreal Trials. And they basically are showing us that duty completion, duty complete are both checkable. I don't even know what they're trying to tell us. They're talking about Titan returning for Fox Hollows, and new rewards are going to be around for the Unreal Trial. So, I don't know. That I'm really looking forward to trying that fight.
Get you with the right people with the right expectation for what you're doing in a streamline, because
play with the right.
Because apparently Unreal is hard enough that people need to get in the right party without trolls or people.
I've pugged Shiva Unreal, and it sometimes is completely fucking chaos. They've added another addition to the Duty Finder, the ability to view which roles are benefiting from the Adventure and Need bonus directly from the list of duty roulettes. So that's nice. So if I'm logged in and I want to get some XP on a damage deal, I can easily tell which one the Adventure Need bonus is damage dealer or whatever. So that's a nice quality of life thing. Linking quests in chat that we already talked a little bit about. We don't understand how Never was already there. They've revamped the searching recipes using this material, and they've thrown it further than just items in your inventory. So you can see it from the market board item list, vendors and exchange vendors items list, loot menu, items in the chat window, even the search results showing when search recipes using this material. So there's a lot of screenshots here, but basically it's just going to make it easier to tell what you have, where it can be used. So I think that's good. I usually go to like Garland tools and look stuff up. It's really fast, but again, I prefer this stuff to be in the game if at all possible.
As do I.
Yeah. They've added easy access to Community Finder web pages. We did put our Community Finder up there, and we did receive our fireworks. Yeah. I put them in the. I have to go see if anybody's taken any. I put them in the first tab. If no one's taken any in like another 10 days, I will probably just start mailing them out in batches to people who've logged in.
See what happens after the patch and give everybody their fireworks for the patch. Happy patch days of fireworks.
Happy patch day, yeah. Before New Year's, maybe we should do a New Year's fireworks thing. In 5.4, a new icon will be added to the player search menu, which will allow players to easily visit the Community Finder. But again, people don't use the websites, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. They need to add some easier searchability, I think, to the Community Finder stuff. I don't think that's really right. It's not there yet. Carry a big sticker. Zaxos talks about the sticker additions to G-Pose. I don't care. I've never used a sticker in G-Pose. A lot of these additions are like, for me, which is fine. I don't mind them fulfilling desires for other people, but I don't use stickers and G-pose, nor do I
Well, recall, Yelta,
clone
we
them
are
or-
we are in 5.4. This is the quality of life starting to become home stretch. We now are going to get all of the posts that happened before and near the end of patches are going to be stuff about, we added this to G-pose. We made it where you can stand on your head in RP, and we added these new flags for your house, and we, some people love it. Some people love it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And the stickers are cute, and I guess I'm not against allowing people to list the zone name they're in on their screenshot, but Alright, and then Final Fantasy XIV Backstage Investigators number 2, lead level designer Arata Takashi. I didn't read this, I have no idea what it is.
This is part of their, there's this new investigators, backstage investigators, I don't know what to call it, expose with different people who are working behind the scenes and stuff. And it's great that they do these because he gets to showcase every little team member. And I think it's important for company morale. It's important for us knowing what's happening behind the scenes. It humanizes the people. I think we talked about that the last time because it's like, it's easy to get all butthurt because COVID stopped your beloved game from coming out, 6 weeks sooner than the patch was expected to be, whatever. But, there are human beings that are working behind the scenes that are having to deal with the same environment that you do in this during the pandemic. But no, I'm not going to go through all the stuff that it talked about in here. Yeah, you have eyes, Reed. For yourself, but they're all good stuff, and it is nice to.
Oh no,
see.
the last one was actually very interesting once I went and read it. So, but I just didn't at this point. So,
same.
All right. I think that's about it.
Yeah. Well, we covered a lot. I mean, for the most part, all we are dust in the wind, dude. All we are waiting for 5.4. That's it, So when you hear us next, it'll be our reactions to everything 5.4.
And I hope they're good. I hope that the MSQ blows our minds. I hope that the Star Run whatever blows our minds. Emerald Weapon. I hope it's fun.
Well, there'll be a lot to cover for sure. We'll have a lot of we'll have story. We'll have raid. We'll have Emerald Weapon. It'll be spoiler free, and then you give us another couple of weeks, and we'll have spoilers on that following one. But you can expect spoiler free from us, and hopefully we get through all of this stuff. I don't know. I might not get the Emerald done by the time we get the other, but we'll see how far we get. We'll see how far.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot, right? Mm-hmm. It sounds like quite a bit of content, so I'm happy.
Me too.
All right, then it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, www.gtfxev.com. While you're there, please leave us a comment. You can check us out on YouTube also. I don't think we put that in the
Yeah, we got to update
notes
this
here yet.
Yeah, it's out there.
It's out there. If you want to go to the website and support us by clicking the donation button, that'd be cool. You can find us on Twitter at GTFFXAV. Email us at gtffxav@gmail.com. Please rate us. Personal plugs, Ruby.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at RubiconVale, RubiconVale.
And you can find me on Twitter at Yelta Sumasu, YELTASUMASU. As always, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.